Respect for the Dignity of the Human Person, a video essay on social media by Michael Thomas Chiango. In the famous novel 1984, George Orwell imagines a totalitarian future where everyone is continually monitored by cameras and the thought police rounds up and persecutes anyone expressing individuality. George Orwell's novel was originally ridiculed when it was first released for its scenario being too unrealistic and absurd. However, it has stayed relevant since its original publication due to the fact that what seemed like a ridiculous scenario 70 years ago appears to be more and more like a scarily prophetic warning. However, I don't think that George Orwell could have predicted that rather than the cameras being imposed on us by a big brother-like authoritarian figure, people would intentionally turn the cameras on themselves. We are living in an increasingly interconnected and digital world where the world's collective knowledge is one Google search away, and you can get a reply on a message you sent to someone halfway around the world in less than a minute. We also now live in a world where most people can't go a day without taking a selfie of themselves, or watching a YouTube video, or checking how many followers they have on Instagram. There is no doubt that the technological developments of the past several decades have produced great advantages for many people, and social media has given many a sense of community and belonging. However, the recent developments of social media culture have been far from completely positive. Many people now place their self-esteem on how many followers they have. They are addicted to the dopamine rush they receive when anyone likes their YouTube comment or photo, and they are all too quick to see and envy the privileges and accomplishments of others while being blind to their own. Not only that, but much like in George Orwell's novel, we are living in an age of alternative facts, with fake news, misinformation, and biased media being presented as truth. What really happened doesn't actually matter, and the only thing that matters is how history can be altered to suit a particular narrative that fulfills the agenda of a particular group. The illusion of freedom and individuality is presented as the ability to choose which social group you want to be a part of. People constantly express how different they are from those of other groups, while being continually fearful to express dissent among their own group, lest the thought police ostracize them for not having an opinion that is representative of the majority. In the culture wars now, you either have to agree with enthusiasm or disagree with hate, and the middle ground is incredibly hard to find. To quote a wise man named John Matter, "You weren't an extremist as long as you were the right kind of extremist." George Orwell's novel is much more relevant today than it ever has been, for its unintended dark commentary about our modern society. However, one disparity between George Orwell's scenario and the world we are currently living in is that Big Brother is not to blame, but instead, everyday ordinary people have created and perpetuated the problems of social media that exist today. That is both hopeful and depressing, because the simple fact is that what is keeping us from enjoying the great and unprecedented prosperity and freedom that the world is currently in is us. All of us, and not the government, are responsible for how the dignity of the human person is acknowledged and respected, and thus all of us must use social media in responsible and productive ways that help others, rather than succumbing to the temptation to create the world that George Orwell envisioned.